So my most embarrassing moment in real estate happened like 3 years ago. I had just taken a listing and I went to the house to apply the lockbox, and then I went inside to the kitchen, and then when I left, I forgot and I locked the key in the house. And I had to go to the owner and get another key. Just a stumbling moment in my career.
The most awkward moment in real estate for me was when I and my partner found out the morning of our open house that somebody had passed away in the property. So every time we showed it, it was very awkward.
So I was showing this house to a client and he had to go to the bathroom. So I said, sure, go ahead, use the bathroom. And he goes in and he comes out and he says, there's no water, I can't flush. I checked, the water was turned off. So I had to call the listing agent and let them know what happened. But it was very embarrassing and awkward, but also could be a lesson learned for other realtors that are showing homes to check and make sure there's water on if a client has to use the restroom.
I was showing homes to one of my very dear friends, and the very first house we went to go see, my lockbox, my Sentry key, that I opened lockbox was not working. This happened for about 2 months. Every single time I showed my sweet friend some homes, because that's when it was a very crazy seller's market, at one point she even said, here, I'll just go ahead and call Sentry key for you so that way we can get into the lockbox.
My most embarrassing moment as a real estate agent is when I became a brand new agent. I came from Utah. We did not have gated communities in Utah, so I knew nothing about gated communities. However, upon showing a client a gated community, down at the bottom of the tee sheet, which is the real estate information page where it says gate code, it just said follow. So I called the listing agent and I said, the gate code says follow, but there's no alphabetical letters here or letters at all where I can put the word follow in. Can you please call me back? And then I just sat there and she never called back. And luckily somebody drove up and the gate opened. And to this day, I think back and I think how embarrassing it was for that agent to listen to my voice message.
So my embarrassing moment was I was doing a showing. I closed the house. I left the house keys, the car keys, and my phone inside the house. I locked the house from the inside, so I couldn't open without anything. So my client didn't have a phone, and I have to go to the neighbor's house and ask for help. So I called my broker, blah blah blah, and it was so embarrassing for me because I was with the client.
I was showing houses early in my career, middle of the summer in Vegas. It was probably July, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and smoking hot. It was so hot. And we had left the house and I locked up, and we go to my car and I have locked my keys in my car. So I didn't have the type of car at the time where you had the keypad on the outside of the door, and my lovely clients had to sit for an hour with me outside in the sun waiting for the locksmith.
So I was showing a client a property, and on the MLS it said that the lockbox was in the backyard. And so I'm walking to the gate and I noticed that the gate is locked, and so I call the agent and they said that the owner must have locked the backyard gate. So I then proceeded to attempt to climb the fence in order to get the lockbox key on a very windy night. So, yep.
So there was a time that I had a referral from an agent in California. I made plans to begin showing her homes in the Southern Highlands area. So I get home, I get out of my car. My husband says, you do realize that you have a tag flapping in the wind. I said, what? I immediately looked at my, little jacket thing I had, and I had worn it inside out. And I had been going with the tag flapping in the wind all day long. I called that client up because remember, it was my first time meeting. And needless to say, she said she hadn't noticed. I don't believe that, but needless to say, you always want to check your tags before leaving to show homes.